The Last of Us Part 2 is a big fucking disappointment for us and a lot of the fans. Don't get me wrong, the game is in complete trash. The stealth gameplay is really fun, the visuals are amazing, and some of the stuff in the story is really good. Like the flashback and the rage-filled revenge moment. If the game was the same quality as Ellie's and Joel's flashback, dude, it would be a 10 out of 10. But as an overall story, it has a lot of flaws, and as a sequel to The Last of Us, it was a total mess. So yeah, if you're interested to know why, let's go. Okay, so killing off Joel. Telling you the truth, I expected him to die in The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know, the way the trailer were framing the revenge story and all, I kinda guessed that that's what would happen. Either that or Ellie's girlfriend would die. I was kinda hoping it would be the girlfriend since I like Joel so much. If you like The Last of Us 1 as much as I did, you know that the game is all about the relationship of Ellie and Joel. The Last of Us is literally the story of them overcoming their grief by bonding. I truly genuinely wanted him to live, and they could have continued to develop the character that we loved, the story that we love, but it's not what happened. It was getting such a disrespectful manner that honestly by the start of the game I was just mad. I heard some other YouTubers saying stuff like Joel is not a beloved character because he wasn't a saint, like he did bad stuff and all, but we know that Joel isn't perfect. That's what we like about him. Joel is a flawed guy that's tried to live in a goddamn zombie apocalypse. Like, Darth Vader is a beloved character and he is a bad guy doesn't mean he should be killed like a little bitch. A perfect example of how it could have been done is Logan. Logan died in a heroic, respectful manner in a redemption arc type way that really made his death sad but satisfying. But that aside, I think there's a way that they could have made Joel's death less painful. It's if they would have been able to make a chemistry that is equal to the one of Ellie and Joel. The Last of Us 1 wasn't good because of its story. The story was a trip to get an immune girl to the Fireflies. But the character's chemistry, the development, that's what made The Last of Us The Last of Us. But guess what? It didn't deliver. Depressing Ellie doesn't have any chemistry that comes close to the one from the first game, and Abby, we don't care about Abby, but we'll get into that later. The Last of Us 1 was Ellie and Joel. The story was literally damn. So The Last of Us 2 isn't The Last of Us. It's like imagine buying the new Mario game and at the start of the game they kill off Mario and they make you follow Bowser. That's not what we signed up for. If you like it, good for you, but if a game is a sequel, it should respect the original by taking what we like and add to it, not just throwing it all away. Killing Joel for a revenge story? Okay, why not, but what do you bring to the table to make up for that? The trailer is what made it truly disrespectful. They really tried to hide the fact that Joel died and make it seem like he was a bigger part of the game. It's honestly almost insulting. Don't show Joker in the Suicide Squad trailer if he's not that much in the movie. The same goes for The Last of Us, god damn it. Honestly, Ellie's story is alright for the first 15 hours, and I emphasize on alright. The story told of revenge was good, but not as good as the story of the relationship of the first game. The character interaction weren't one of two individuals slowly changing each other as they learn to understand and love each other, but one of two persons walking together on a quest for revenge. The chemistry and interaction were not the highlight, but the moments of rage fueled by vengeance were pretty damn amazing. I really liked those moments, but they were so few and far between, boring character interaction which made it just alright. But after the point where Abby and Ellie's story converged together, it was a total fucking mess. The whole point of The Last of Us 2 was the circle of violence, right? Okay, so Ellie lost, and now, sometime later, she has a family and live on a farm and has a child. Okay, so having a child should probably make her understand that there are better things in this world than revenge, right? But let's just say she can't shake off the PTSD. She have to go kill Abby. Then she go fight Abby, but right before killing her, she understand that revenge is meaningless. Okay, so I don't understand what make her understand that. Like, I think having a family should have been more impactful, but everybody is different, and yeah, okay, let's say this is the moment she understand it. So she ends the circle of violence, get back home and realize she lost everything. Like, what the fuck? The message was that violence bring more violence, but she end the circle and have a bad ending? I don't get the message here, like, ending the circle isn't enough, so Abby should have a bad ending. It would have made a lot more sense if Ellie killed Abby, cause it would have mean that revenge just fueled a circle of violence and she would have lost everything, but now she just lost everything and made the right choice by ending the circle? And how come Abby has a good ending, I mean good-ish ending, at least she get to live? What, cause she let Ellie live earlier? So Abby end the circle and have her somewhat good ending, cause she get to live. But Ellie does the same, no, scratch that, she even save Abby. And she have a bad ending? Fuck that. The Last of Us 1 was all about finding the light in the darkness, but The Last of Us Part 2 spit on that the same way Amazing Spider-Man 2 spit on great power come with great responsibility. The story should not have been the same, but don't take away the game identity to pass a message. So no light in the darkness and ending the circle of violence doesn't change anything? Okay, wow. You know what, just fuck that.
Abby is another character that you play as, and I get that what they were going for is for you to hate her for half the game and now to see that she isn't so bad, but by having it happen that late into the game and just after she killed Ellie's friend, it's kinda going off on a bad start. I mean, it's really hard to like her after that.
The Last of Us 1 used the prologue to make us empathize for the protagonist. You see him lose his daughter, which help us understand his mindset and put us in his place. The Last of Us 2 used the prologue to make us hate Abby, the new protagonist. Sure, they try to develop her into a likable character later, but they make a prologue that completely detaches from this character. Damn wrong move. Again, especially this late in the game, making it really hard for us to love the character, but not as much as the poor writing.
Plus, playing her side of the story does nothing to make you love most of the other characters that kill Joel and that you kill as Ellie, as you spend more time as Abby with new character and only a short amount of time with the one responsible for Joel's death, except Owen and Mel, but they go to great length to make them kinda unlikable because of the way Mel treat her unborn child. Sorry, but going on the battlefield while pregnant is a bad idea. I don't care what you say about that. I mean, what if she get punched? What if she fall? I mean, it's the fucking apocalypse. And Owen cheat on her with Abby while she was pregnant. Those are the only characters that killed Joel that they chose to develop, and this is what they do for fucking real? Other than that, Lev and his sister are kinda cool. So there was no point in holding out on Abby's section until after we kill her friend, as Ellie, because the only twist that her section provide is that Abby wasn't really all that bad, which I think we all already knew. Like, imagine playing as Micah in the epilogue of Red Dead 2, showing his side of the story. Even if he is shown as a good guy, we don't care by this point. So no thanks.
The game is also full of inconsistency and dumb for the sake of the plot moment in its story, making it really hard to enjoy. Right at the start of the game, when Joel saved Abby and let himself get surrounded by strangers and tell them his real name without knowing them. Okay, so where do I start? Joel has been surviving the zombie outbreak for what, 20 years or something? And he has done shit he's not proud of and has made a lot of enemy along the way, but somehow he let himself get caught in that bullshit? I don't think the Joel from the first game would be so dumb. He would have at least used a fake name or something, I don't know. I even think that he might have not even saved Abby. Think about the Joel from before the outbreak drive past some people in need to make sure his daughter was safe. So yeah, this Joel kinda do things for the sake of the plot. Joel is not the only character acting out of character. Tommy started the game saying stuff like, "No Ellie, you should not go take revenge, it's bad." But by the end of the game he's like, "Go avenge Joel even if it might kill you doing so. You promised me," and all that bullshit. That's so out of character and feels so forced. There are other moments like that, but the worst of all, in my opinion, is when they forgot the map that lead Abby to Ellie and the other. Okay, I can buy that Ellie was shocked and forgot the map, but like, neither Tommy or Jesse saw the damn map. Really? Something as important. Okay, it's pretty dumb, but it could happen. Yeah, I get that, but how come Ellie marked her location on the goddamn map? The location of her girlfriend and unborn child. I understand marking where the enemy are, but her own location? Yeah, as if she would forgot or something. I don't know, for me it really felt like it's for the sake of the plot moment. No matter how good some of the sections of the story are, there are so many dumb moments like those that it make it so hard to enjoy.
In The Last of Us Part 2, the potential was endless. They could have started anywhere they wanted and do a lot of things with it. But they decided to kill Joel for a plot device. It's really weak. I mean, let's take an example. Most of the best part in The Last of Us Part 2 are the flashback with Joel and Ellie. It got everything you want. Fun chemistry, touching scene, and tragic moment all packed together in those very moments. And it's exactly what we want. But the thing is, the best part of this game are flashback? How stupid is that? It's so dumb. It's almost like the sequel should have been the flashback. But of course, they killed Joel. So in the end, the flashback make me angry because it could have been the potential sequel we could have gotten. The story didn't have to be a big thing, you know. Just the chemistry alone with them together or something similar would have been enough. There, it killed the potential it had. But the new game gave some new potential. You see, in the beginning of the game, Ellie's with Dina. And I get what they tried to do with their chemistry, but they failed so hard. Ellie is like angry in silence, like Joel. And Dina was funky and lighthearted, like younger Ellie. The reason it failed is because the game made us feel like Ellie in the beginning. We hated Abby so much that we're just focusing on wanting to kill her. So while I get what they tried to do, it fucking sucked, because I just didn't care. I wanted Abby dead. Dina was also not funny for me. So while she was making jokes, it felt insulting for what just happened to Joel at some point, you know. It didn't feel right. There's also something that ticked me off, is that she was just there for Ellie, not for revenge. And because of that, I kinda knew at some point the story was gonna go in this cliche way where Ellie's about to get her revenge and she's like, "Oh my god, Ellie, you're scaring me," while she's like doing something brutal. And you know, it kinda did at the end with Ellie leaving the farm. I just didn't like her at all, and it made me miss Joel even more. But something changed. Jesse arrived and I had fun. It's quite funny because it had fixed some of the problem I had with the game. Together they had good chemistry, like two brother and sister after revenge for their father. I know it wasn't here long, but I felt they had more interesting chemistry that could have been developed into something cool. It was funny, it was sweet, and it was fucking short. At some point, he left. I was like, okay, it's fine. We'll see him later on. And you know what? He does come back. Oh yeah. He come back dead by Abby. How? In what fucking dumbass mind can I like Abby when she killed character I like? Especially the one I was okay to be the new partner for Ellie. Don't get me wrong, he couldn't replace Joel. Brother-sister vibe was better than the romantic relationship Dina and Ellie had. And the worst part, like, they showed Jesse such disrespect. Like, they kill him off, and then they don't talk about him later on. No, my bad. They talk about him in her fucking diary. What? That's such a dry kill. It's fucking stupid. For a story where it is all about the weight of the dead and what it means to kill a life. To kill someone like that is just like contradiction. It doesn't make sense. Now let's talk about the devil herself. Abby has one good chemistry. And if you play the game, of course, it's with Lev. Every other character that Abby is friend with, for me, I don't care about them. They're like asshole, and I really just don't care about them. Ironically, they all die. So for me, it's just good stuff. So Lev and Abby, when they were together, they made me like a little bit Abby. At one point, I felt sorry for her. And then she shot Tommy. Every empathy was gone. Hell no. Fuck this shit. I was back all the way with Ellie. So not only did they destroy the chemistry I like with Abby, because now I don't fucking like her anymore, she also killed Jesse. That was another potential chemistry. So they killed all the chemistry that they built and they had. It's fucking stupid. Alright, I said my part. I'm gonna leave.
Okay, so the momentum of a story is the way a story becomes more and more intense as it goes by. You know, like a story that starts slow and have the tension grow until intense story moment happen. Well, it's more or less that. It's hard to explain. But resetting it is like you reading a book just to have someone close it in front of you and giving you another one. So, what I want to say is that the game has no momentum whatsoever, as the game reset itself 3 times. Not 2, but 3 fucking times. After the prologue, when Ellie wants to go to Seattle, when Abby's story starts, and after Ellie decides to get her revenge again. I get that after the prologue you do it. They did it in the first game when Joel's daughters died, and it was fine because a prologue helped set the tone of a game earlier in the story, kinda like a prologue in a movie like Dark Knight. But why do it 2 more times? You expect me to give a shit when the game kills all its momentum by going back in time to do things that feel like a whole other game? I mean, Abby's story doesn't have that much to do with Ellie's one until the end. And as much as you may like it, it feels like another story that has a start, a middle, and an end, that has no connection with Ellie's journey, at least like I said until the end. And it happened again later on when Ellie go get her revenge again. That many story reset just make the whole game pacing suffer, as it does not flow well with each other, making all those sections feel disconnected from one another. Basically, it's like having 3 stories in one. 3 stories that you were asked to care about, and 2 of them with completely different character and tone. One being a revenge story, and the other a classic redemption arc. And after that you have the other revenge story. Add the fact that there are a lot of flashbacks thrown into the mix, and it's really easy to see that the game might have some issue with its pacing, especially if the game wants you to go from Ellie's tension-filled 3rd day at Seattle to Abby relatively calm 1st day. I mean, we go from that to that, and we're supposed to care, really. If they wouldn't have reset the momentum as much by adding back and forth with Abby's and Ellie's scene, it would have been much better, as that way the story wouldn't cut as hard between the 2 sections and make the overall pacing better of the game, making us feel less detached to Abby's section of the game and more invested in the story that the game tries to tell, fixing some of the game issue along with it.
But with that said, having Ellie lost everything at the end of the game really does make the first game seems pointless, as we the player as Joel did everything to protect her. Even fucked up thing all for her sake was what made the first game so tragic, yet so beautiful. But there's nothing beautiful about The Last of Us Part 2. In the end, The Last of Us Part 2 have a story that really fell out of place for the IP. and would have probably worked better as its own game, or maybe as a Last of Us spin-off following other character. I remember back then finishing the first game. It was so good, so emotional, but I remember saying, yeah, this game, it doesn't need a sequel. And yeah, it didn't need a sequel.